Hello friends, in this DIY tutorial I'll show you step by step how easy it is to add wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto and even screen mirroring to an MIB1 or MIB2 media unit fitted on many Volkswagen Group models. I'll be installing this unit on a Golf MK7 equipped with MIB1, but the exact same steps apply to all the models mentioned in the image. If you're not exactly sure what CarPlay and Android Auto do, they basically give you access to essential apps such as Waze, Google Maps, YouTube Music, Spotify, and many more, so you don't need to use your phone while driving because you can even use voice commands. As we all know, using your phone behind the wheel is extremely dangerous, both for you and for other road users, which makes a device like this a must-have nowadays. With this device, you keep all the original car functions, the audio quality remains just as good for both music and phone calls because it uses the original factory microphone. And the best part, it's very affordable. So why buy a new car that may not be as reliable as older models when you can install this device yourself in less than 1 hour? Let's start with a short unboxing. This is the Car ABC module that will completely transform your driving experience. To order this product, you can either use the direct product link or the link to the official Car ABC website. You will find both in the description along with a discount code, in my opinion a very solid 15% off. Simply search for your car model or media unit, double check compatibility and features if you want, add the product to your cart, and at checkout use the code TDW15. This will help you save $25, bringing the final price down to just $140, and my unbiased opinion is that it's worth every single dollar. But you'll see that for yourselves by the end of the video. Let's check the contents of the box. Of course, we have a user manual in English, but everything you need to know I will present later. The installation is truly plug and play, and even though it was my first time installing a CarPlay module on a Golf 7, everything took less than 1 hour. The module also allows the installation of reverse cameras. I have a very detailed tutorial about this, which I will leave in the description. Then we have some LVDS cables. As you can see, they are already labeled, so there is no way you can mix them up. We have an external microphone which does not need to be installed unless the car is not equipped with an original one or if it is not functional. We have a fairly large Wi-Fi antenna that ensures a very stable wireless connection with the phone. The applications will not freeze at all. Then we have the main wiring harness with 2 quad-lock connectors and one for powering the module. Don't let all these wires scare you, they are only needed if you want to add a camera or other accessories, so I will not use any of the RCA ports or wires. You also have a USB port for wired CarPlay and Android Auto, but why would I install it if everything is wireless anyway? And if you can believe it, this small box that can easily fit in my pocket does all the work. The device practically adds a Linux operating system, and with a simple long press of a button you can switch between the original operating system and the Linux one. It has 3 ports, one for LVDS, one for the Wi-Fi antenna and one for power, and a dip switch that is set according to the car model and the screen size. There is also a table on it with the required settings, identical to the one in the user manual. That was basically the unboxing. Let's go to the car and install the module. The plan is simple. We open the side cover of the dashboard on the passenger side, where we have a single screw. Then we have 3 screws at the top of the glove box and 2 screws at the bottom. There is another one behind the unit which I will show you at the right moment. All the screws are T20 and are identical in thread and length. Using a plastic trim removal tool, I will remove the side cover. We do not remove this connector because otherwise we will trigger an airbag error. Anyway, we will not work in that area and it does not bother us at all. I am now removing this T20 screw. Now I remove the 3 screws at the top. I am done with the top ones, and now I still have 2 screws under the glove box. You'll also need 2 keys for removing Volkswagen media units. You can find them at any auto parts store or online for very little money. They are inserted with the straight side facing outward until you hear a click. If you hear the click, it means you can remove the media unit. Now we will need to disconnect all the cables from the back. In principle, you will only connect the module in 2 places, so I will first show you those 2 connectors. The first one is this gray connector from the LVDS cable. Press the locking tab and pull it out. I use the pick tool just to show you where the tab is. You can also use your finger. This is one, and you also need to connect to the quad lock. Press the locking tab on the quad lock as well, and pull this lever up. So we will only connect the module here, but because we need more space and to lower the glove box, we will remove all the connectors. Here, pull this locking tab back and then press on the part that sticks out while pulling the connector. We do the same with this double white connector. Another locking tab here, the one indicated with the pick tool. We press and pull it out. The position is very bad, so I'll use leverage with the pick tool or a screwdriver and pry it out. We put the media unit aside because now we will remove the screw behind it. Here's the last screw. Unfortunately, I don't have an extension that long, but I will reach it with my screwdriver if I also insert my hand into the media unit housing. To be honest now, I did have an extension, but I was too lazy to go into the house and get it. Now we will slightly unclip this trim next to the center console in order to lower the glove box. After you move the front part of the trim enough, you can lower the glove box. Now we will install the module and its accessories. We start with the Wi-Fi antenna. Both the module and the Wi-Fi antenna will need to reach above the glove box. Now I'll connect one of the quad lock connectors from the main harness to the original one. You can't mix them up because they are male and female. Make sure the lever is always raised, otherwise you won't be able to connect them. After you connect them, lower the lever to secure the connection. I will tie all these cables together with electrical tape so I can pull them more easily to the top through the back of the media unit housing. At the end, I will completely wrap them with tape. The other quad lock connector goes back into the original media unit, and the white one goes up to the module. This is the connector that will power the module, and it will need to reach above the glove box. Now we have this LVDS cable with 3 connectors. One light blue connector connects to the LVDS connector that we removed from the media unit. It is also labeled accordingly. The second light blue connector goes to the original unit instead of the gray one, and the dark blue one goes into the module, the blue port. Now we take the original unit and connect everything. You can't mix anything up because all connectors are color coded. The only exception is the one from the module, which now goes into the gray port. There is a possibility to bend these keys, so it would be better to remove them before you start reconnecting the cables. Press on these metal clips and pull the keys out with force. A lot of force is needed here, so don't be scared if they don't come out immediately. Do the same on the other side. I won't lie, this system is very annoying. I will start exactly with the LVDS connector that no longer follows the color code. So this light blue connector goes into the gray port. The rest are exactly according to the color code. The dark blue connector, as I mentioned earlier, needs to reach above the glove box, so I route it through the media unit housing and pull it out through the opening above. I take the module, insert the blue connector, and now there is only one connector left to insert into the module, the white one for power. If you want to use wired CarPlay, you can leave this USB port outside, somewhere near the passenger footwell. I never use this port, so I will tape all these cables together. We can now insert the white power connector into the module. It is important to pull as much excess cable as possible above, otherwise you won't be able to insert the media unit back in. We check the DIP settings. For Golf 7, switch 1 and 2 off. For a 5.8-inch screen, we have 3 and 4 off. For 6.5, 7 or 8-inch, we have 3 off, 4 on. Our screen is probably a 7-inch. If you don't get it right, just take out the power connector, wait about 10 seconds and try a different setting. Here, however, there are only 2 possibilities, so it's very hard to get it wrong. As our screen looks like a 7-inch, I will set switch number 4 to on. Time to reinsert all the original connectors and do our first test. Moment of truth. We long press on car. And we have the Linux operating system active with CarPlay, Android Auto and mirroring. To return to the original menu, press Home or long press on Car. I will also test CarPlay, although once you have the menu active, there are very small chances that any of the functions won't work. Everything is perfectly functional and even faster than I expected. It gives more of the impression of factory wire CarPlay than wireless CarPlay. I will now put the glove box back in place. Right above the glove box there are some ideal openings for hiding the module and the cables. I pulled all the excess cables from behind the media unit, tightened the dashboard screws, but the unit still wouldn't go in because of the quad lock connectors in the back. However, there is a very simple solution for this. Use a metal rod, insert it through the side opening of the dashboard and lift the quad lock connector assembly behind the media unit until it goes in. It's quite simple. To benefit from audio through aux, set aux from the media menu and then deselect Use Car Bluetooth in the module settings. Also make sure you have original mic to on so you can use the original microphone for calls. Now I will let you watch a few tests that I did, everything in real time, and we will meet afterwards with my honest conclusions. We start with CarPlay. Hey Siri, drive to Bucharest.
Getting driving directions to Bucharest using Google Maps.
We move on to Android Auto.
Do you still remember all the ways we used to love? It was long ago now. I could see the starry skies. Afraid to lose everyone, being lonely. Find a place in your heart where you realize every love made a mark on your.
Let's get started. Drive safely.
Let's now test AirPlay. Hello friends! In today's episode I'm going to show you how to upgrade your media unit and add Android Auto, CarPlay, or even screen mirroring to the original Sync 2 on a 2014 Ford Focus. And we finish with Autolink for Android. Alright guys, this was my tutorial. From my point of view, the installation was very simple. I do recommend having another person help you when reinstalling the glove box because it's quite difficult to hold it in place and install the screws at the same time. The operating system runs very fast, CarPlay and Android Auto connect very quickly. Therefore, I strongly recommend buying this product to bring your MIB1 or MIB2 media unit into modern times. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, don't forget to reward the effort put into making it with a simple click or tap on like and subscribe. If you also have a few seconds available, it would be great to leave a comment, even a negative one, I don't mind. All the best and safe driving!